Chapter 21 A Bright Moment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So, you're backing out of the deal? Humph. I, Zhou Wei, always keep my word, so I'm not breaking the contract. Our bet was on whether you could pass the final assessment. You've become a spirit master, but your spirit pet is that Husky. That doesn't change the fact that you still won't pass level 2. Zhou Wei scoffed. In his eyes, 205 was just a worthless spirit pet, not even as good as a common one, with 0 attack power. The second level required them to venture into the forest of demon spirits and retrieve the inner elixir of an F-level evil spirit. Zhou Wei was certain that Husky stood no chance against an F-level evil spirit. Want to play games with words? Fine, I'll make you eat them. Ye Qianxing smirked. Seeing his classmates trying to stifle their laughter, he thought, just wait, you're in for a surprise. Teacher Jiang Lin, could you please evaluate 205's quality? Ye Qianxing drew a drop of blood from 205 and handed it to Jiang Lin. Jiang Lin herself was taken aback when she saw Ye Qianxing's spirit pet. She never expected him to contract a husky. Didn't he know that huskies were considered one of the least aggressive dog breeds before the new era? Don't worry, Teacher Jiang Lin, I promise I'll knock your socks off later. Ye Qianxing flashed a bright smile, or at least he thought it was bright. Instructor Jiang Lin looked skeptical but dropped 205's blood onto the ore. Buzz. Suddenly, the ore's surface glowed intensely. Jiang Lin, standing right next to it, gasped as the sheer brilliance nearly blinded her. It took over 30 seconds for the light to fade, and when it did, Jiang Lin's and the students' faces were priceless. The students might not fully grasp the implications of such intense light, but Jiang Lin understood that the brighter the light, the higher the quality of the spirit pet. Even the fire sparrow, currently the highest quality spirit pet, only emitted a light comparable to a small light bulb. 205's blood had made the ore blaze like a floodlight. Jiang Lin had never encountered a spirit pet of this caliber before. Teacher, please tell us the results. Seeing Jiang Lin in a daze, Ye Qianxing urged her. Huh? Oh. Jiang Lin stammered, her voice still trembling. Ye Qianxing, spirit pet, mutated husky, perfect quality, recommendation for the top tier of first class. Since no one had ever used a husky as a spirit pet, she didn't know what to call it. Student Ye Qianxing, our quality test can only register up to perfect, so I can only label it as such for now. I apologize. Jiang Lin explained, slightly embarrassed. 205's quality was clearly superior to the fire sparrows, but perfect was the highest rating their school could give. No problem, Ye Qianxing said casually, unconcerned. The moment Jiang Lin announced Ye Qianxing's results, the students fell silent. What kind of quality was beyond perfect? How could a husky, of all things, possess such high quality? No way, that's impossible. There must be a mistake. Teacher, please retest it. Zhou Wei's disbelieving voice shattered the silence. Jiang Lin frowned. Are you implying I rigged the test? Sensing Jiang Lin's displeasure, Zhou Wei realized his words sounded accusatory. He quickly backtracked. Teacher, that's not what I meant. I meant there must be something wrong with the stone. There's no way that husky can be perfect, no matter how you look at it. Hearing Zhou Wei's objection, other students chimed in with their agreement. Something must be wrong with the ore, it was the only logical explanation. We request a retest. Jiang Lin was a little torn. She, too, found it hard to believe that an ordinary husky could possess such extraordinary quality, but instead of directly agreeing to Zhou Wei's request, she turned to Ye Qianxing for his input. Ye Qianxing smiled and nodded confidently. He knew exactly how exceptional 205's quality was. Retesting it once, 100 times, 1,000 times, the result would be the same. Soon, Jiang Lin swapped the ore for a fresh one, and retested 205's blood. The result, an even more intense flash of light nearly blinded Jiang Lin. She finally accepted that Ye Qianxing's spirit pet possessed quality beyond perfection. I now officially declare Ye Qianxing's assessment results valid, and the assessment will continue. Ye Qianxing returned to his spot under the envious gazes of his classmates. Zhou Wei glared at him, but Ye Qianxing pretended not to notice. Qianxing, I knew you could do it, that if any student wasn't jealous of Ye Qianxing, it was Xia Xiaoyu. She was genuinely happy for him. Of course. Who do you think I am? Ye Qianxing boasted playfully. The assessment continued, and Sudala approached Ye Qianxing once more. Qianxing, are you done with the assessment? Which class did you get placed in? Top tier of first class. What about you, Tila? Huh, me too. We're in the same class, Qianxing. You really didn't disappoint. Sudala grinned. Ye Qianxing was a little surprised that Sudala was assigned to the first-class elite class as well. Even with a wealthy family and the ability to afford high-quality spirit pets, you needed mental strength to contract one. Being assigned to the top tier of first class meant the quality of Sudala's contracted spirit pet was at least on par with the fire spirit sparrow. After waiting for over an hour, the school's first round of assessments was wrapping up. Those who failed left crestfallen. Rather than being expelled by the school, it was better to quit and preserve what little dignity they had left. Quite a few people made it past the first level, about 2/3 of the group, but that didn't mean they could let their guard down. The second level was much more challenging. Not only was it difficult, but it was also more dangerous. The second round of assessments will officially begin tomorrow, but I must remind you all that the forest of demon spirits is rife with danger. There may even be E-level, or even D-level, evil spirits lurking within. While the school will do its best to ensure your safety, nothing is guaranteed. So, if any of you wish to withdraw, please inform me before tomorrow. Jiang Lin addressed the students with a solemn expression. Chapter 22 Dihao Club. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When they found out there might be D-level evil spirits in the forest of demonic spirits, the students freaked out, but nobody was about to throw in the towel. They'd finally cleared the first level, quitting wasn't an option. Besides, the instructor swore the school would do everything possible to keep them safe. As long as they didn't do anything stupid, they should be okay. Qianxing, let's celebrate. Sudala clapped Ye Qianxing on the shoulder. Huh. Ye Qianxing started to refuse. Knowing Sudala's habits as a spoiled rich kid, they'd probably end up somewhere way out of his price range. He was short on cash right now. Sudala seemed to pick up on Ye Qianxing's hesitation and chuckled. Come on, man, my treat. Just chill and have some fun. Alright, if Richie Rich here is paying, who am I to say no? Ye Qianxing said, deciding to go along with it. He could always return the favor later when he had some dough. That's what friends were for, right? One hand washes the other. Cool, can I bring someone? Who? Su Tila asked, puzzled. Ye Qianxing gestured toward Xia Xiaoyu standing beside him. Su Tila's jaw dropped when he saw her. Even though he was used to seeing good-looking women, Xia Xiaoyu still blew him away, but Su Tila knew how to act. He quickly pulled himself together and looked away. Qianxing, you sly dog. Keeping a girlfriend this gorgeous under wraps, Su Tila said with a grin. Ye Qianxing didn't think anything of it, but Xia Xiaoyu's cheeks turned bright red. You sure you want to bring her along, though? Why? Is there a problem? If it's a bad idea, then Su Tila cut Ye Qianxing off. No, it's totally fine. Su Tira's weird smile left Ye Qianxing scratching his head, wondering what the heck he was getting at. After leaving the school, Su Tira made a call, and a luxury car appeared out of nowhere. Ye Qianxing had only ever seen cars like this on TV. This was his first time seeing one in real life. I wanted to bring the supercar, but there's no room for 3 people, so we had to settle for this, Su Tira said with a sigh. Ye Qianxing just about choked. Settle? This was his worst car. Talk about a 1%er. Today, he was determined to make this rich kid pay. They piled into the car and soon arrived at their destination, a ridiculously opulent building. In this day and age, building something like this in Jiangnan City, where land was worth its weight in gold, must have cost a fortune. This is Dihao Club. It's got everything: food, drinks, entertainment. Most people can't even get in if they have the cash. Come on, I'll show you around, Suzaku said, waving his hand proudly. Ye Qianxing had heard of Dihao Club. It was the most exclusive club in the city, offering all kinds of high-end entertainment and dining. Suzaku was taking them here. That was seriously generous. When they reached the entrance, several bodyguards in suits stood tall and stiff, spirit pets squatting at their sides. Ye Qianxing sized them up and saw they were all F level, and there was even one E level, using spirit masters and spirit pets as bouncers. This Dihao Club was definitely next level. After flashing their IDs, the bodyguards ushered them inside. Yo, I want the biggest private room, the #1 suite. As soon as he stepped into the club, Suzaku bellowed, drawing everyone's attention. This was a fancy establishment. Everyone here was either filthy rich or came from old money, and they all had manners. So, even though there were a lot of people, it was super quiet. Suzaku's outburst felt totally out of place. Feeling all eyes on them, Ye Qianxing felt a twinge of embarrassment. He glared at Suzaku, worried he was about to make a scene, but to Ye Qianxing's surprise, instead of looking annoyed or disgusted, the other patrons actually nodded at Suzaku as if greeting him. It seemed Suzaku was kind of a big shot in Jiangnan City's elite circles. But then, a voice dripped with ice. Well, look who it is. Ye Qianxing. What are you doing here? Did you sneak in? Let me tell you, you're gonna be in deep trouble when they find out. Ye Qianxing turned toward the voice and saw Zhou Wei swaggering toward them with a few of his cronies. The snide remarks were coming from him, naturally. But, hey, if you get down on your knees and beg, I might think about helping you. Ha ha ha. Qianxing, who's this clown? His laugh sounds like a dying duck. It's killing my ears, Su Tila said, wrinkling his nose and digging in his ear with his pinky. Like you said, just a duck, Ye Qianxing shrugged. Oh, right. A duck, Su Tila said, drawling out the word duck for maximum effect. Seeing that they were completely ignoring him, Zhou Wei's face darkened. Hey, you. The one who was just yelling about room #1, right? Zhou Wei snapped at Su Tila. Yep, that's me. What's it to ya? Suzaku shot back, looking down his nose at Zhou Wei. Birds of a feather flock together. You're just another hick like Ye Qianxing. Anyone knows that Suite 1 at Dihao Club isn't open to the public. Even I can barely get in. What makes you think a bunch of losers like you can waltz in here like you own the place? Zhou Wei's tone was dripping with scorn. The Zhou family was one of the biggest players in Jiangnan City, but even he usually had to settle for the regular suites. Suite 1 had been off limits ever since the Dihao Club opened. Rumor had it that it was specially reserved for the owner. Ha! So you're calling me a hick? And you're saying I can't get into Suite 1? Suzaku chuckled and turned to the waiter. Do you think I'm qualified to go to Suite 1? Of course, sir, the waiter said respectfully. Then what are you waiting for? Make it happen. Right away, sir. The waiter turned to leave. Hey! Zhou Wei barked at the waiter. Are you stupid? Suite 1 isn't open to the public. You want to get fired? But the waiter just smirked at Zhou Wei. Suite 1 isn't open to the public, but this gentleman happens to own the Dihao Club, so he's definitely got the right to go to Suite 1. What? The owner of the Dihao Club? This country bumpkin hanging out with Ye Qianxing was actually the owner of this place. Chapter 23, Forest of Demonic Spirits. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Wei's face went ashen. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. His dad had warned him that the boss of Dihao Club was someone to be reckoned with, someone you didn't mess with unless you absolutely had to. Even his dad was scared of him, but this guy was so young. And he was actually hanging out with Ye Qianxing, that nobody, and they seemed to be buddies. What was going on? Was the world turning upside down? Hey, you hear me, punk? Listen up, Ye Qianxing is my brother. You treat him with respect from now on, or you'll have to deal with me, Sutala said, his voice dripping with menace. Then, he turned to the waiter. Remove this kid's name from the Dihao club list. He's banned, permanently. Yes, sir, the waiter replied instantly. Zhou Wei might have connections, but Sutala was the boss. Who was he going to listen to? Sutala shot Zhou Wei a look of pure disdain, then led Ye Qianxing and Xia Xiaoyu towards the private room. Sir, you'll have to leave the Dihao club, the waiter said to Zhou Wei with a fake smile. Zhou Wei's face was a thundercloud, but he didn't dare cause a scene, so he stormed out. As he left, he saw the other guests looking at him, their eyes full of mockery. They were practically saying, didn't you see we knew better than to disrespect Sutala? You really need to get a clue. On the way to the private room, Ye Qianxing smiled at Sutala. You're actually the boss of this place. I can't believe it. Yeah, well, it's actually just one of my dad's businesses, but he didn't want to deal with it, so he stuck me in charge and told me to manage it for him, Sutala said with a sigh. The truth was, all he wanted was to be a spoiled rich kid. Inside the VIP room, Ye Qianxing was shocked by how big it was, easily over 1,000 square feet. There was a huge round table in the center, sofas and a big screen TV on one side, and even microphones. It was the perfect combo of dining and karaoke. While they ate, Sutala told Ye Qianxing to order whatever he wanted. Ye Qianxing nearly choked when he saw the menu. The cheapest dish cost thousands of yuan. If he were on his own, ordering a single dish would be enough to bankrupt him. After the meal, Sutala showed no signs of leaving, instead giving Ye Qianxing a knowing smile. We've got some activities planned next. As he spoke, the door swung open, and a group of stunning women in revealing outfits walked in. They'll sing, drink, and hang out with us. We're gonna party all night. Sutala said with a laugh. Ye Qianxing finally understood the meaning behind that strange smile. Just then, he felt a sharp pinch on his waist, and Xia Xiaoyu was glaring at him with a pout. Ye Qianxing wanted to protest that he was innocent, that he had no idea this was going to happen, but he couldn't exactly turn down Sutala's hospitality, so Ye Qianxing spent the night in a state of misery. The women, seeing that he was with Sutala, all tried to get closer to him, making Xia Xiaoyu's pout even more pronounced and her pinches more painful. Surrounded by beautiful women, Ye Qianxing truly experienced the bittersweet feeling of pleasure and pain. The next day, Ye Qianxing and the others arrived at the school gate to find hundreds of students already gathered. These students had passed the first round and were practically official spirit masters. After they passed the second round, they could begin learning real beast control techniques. After everyone was assembled, they boarded buses under the guidance of their class instructors. An hour later, the buses left Jiangnan City and arrived at the edge of a forest. The new era had been around for over 500 years. Now, most uninhabited areas outside the cities had become wildlands or forests overrun with weeds. This forest was the closest to Jiangnan City, and it was called the Forest of Demonic Spirits. Attention, students, we have arrived at the Forest of Demonic Spirits. Before we go in, I want to remind you again that the outer areas of the forest are mostly filled with F-level demons, with a few E-level ones mixed in. But if you go deeper, you're likely to encounter demons stronger than E-level, so stick to the outskirts as much as possible. We've hired a mercenary group to provide backup, but don't get reckless because of that. If the mercenaries have to step in, you've automatically failed the assessment. A bald, pot-bellied middle-aged man addressed the students. He was the school's academic dean, and he was in charge of the assessment. A mercenary group? Which one? Ye Qianxing asked. To protect hundreds of students, this group had to be pretty big, probably one of the top-ranked ones. The dean glanced at Ye Qianxing and said, the Iron Blood Mercenary Group. Whoa! Hearing the name Iron Blood Mercenary Group sent a ripple of shock through the crowd. What's with the surprised looks? Asked one clueless student. You don't know. The Iron Blood Mercenary Group is the top-ranked mercenary group in Jiangnan City. I can't believe they're willing to protect us. Many of the students familiar with the Iron Blood Mercenary Group were thrilled. Their dream was to join the group, but their standards were incredibly high. making it impossible for rookies like them to get in contrast to the excitement. Ye Qianxing and Sutra frowned. Tira, is Koewu a member of the Iron Blood mercenary group? Ye Qianxing asked. Yeah, and he's a pretty high-ranking member, Su Tira confirmed. But Qianxing, don't worry too much. It's probably just a coincidence, and they wouldn't dare cause any trouble. After all, we're students here. Yeah, Ye Qianxing said, but he wasn't so much worried as annoyed. You have 3 days for this assessment. Gather back here at this time in 3 days. If you're late, you fail. Your goal is to get an inner elixir from any F-level demon. Of course, if you're up to it, an E-level elixir would be even better. Alright, I've said everything I need to say. I officially declare the second round of assessment open. Good luck. At the dean's command, hundreds of students charged into the forest like a swarm. In a forest as vast as this, hundreds of people were like a drop of water in the ocean. They vanished in a matter of moments. There weren't many rules for this assessment. As long as you got a demon's inner elixir, anything was fair game. So some students teamed up to increase their chances of success. Ye Qianxing, Xia Xiaoyu, and Sutra naturally formed their own team. Chapter 24 Ice Qilin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's so quiet here, it's almost unsettling. Entering the forest of demonic spirits, Ye Qianxing and his friends were immediately struck by the silence. Besides the wind rustling the leaves and their own footsteps, there wasn't a sound. No birds singing, no crickets chirping. It was like walking into a dead zone. Towering trees blocked most of the sunlight, making it dark and cold even in the early morning. Ye Qianxing and the others summoned their pets. In this environment, they didn't want to be caught off guard. The fire spirit bird, sensing Xia Xiaoyu's fear, flew above her, its warmth slowly calming her. Ye Qianxing finally saw Sutra's pet, a striking, snow-white lion, but it was more than just a lion. It had a single horn on its head, and while its back was covered in white fur, its belly was scaled. It resembled a Qilin from ancient myths. Spirit pet, Ice Qilin, Qilin subspecies, attribute, mutated frost system. Evaluation, 4-star, growth type, level, F9. Ability, frost zone, releases freezing air, turning the ground into a snowy landscape for dozens of meters, with a chance to freeze opponents. Ice lance, condenses freezing air into ice spears, causing heavy damage. More effective in icy conditions. Weakness, fire system, advancement requirement, 1 frost evil spirit core and a cold-repelling flower to reach E-level. Evolution route, a trace of dragon energy gives it a chance to evolve into a true Qilin. Seeing its stats, Ye Qianxing was impressed. It was a Qilin, or at least a subspecies, which was already powerful. As a legendary beast, the Qilin possessed dragon blood. Even a subspecies was superior to ordinary spirit pets, and this was an ice Qilin, with the frost system being a potent mutation of water. Sutra was definitely living the high life to have such a pet. It also spoke to Sutra's strong spirit talent, otherwise, a Qilin subspecies wouldn't have agreed to a contract. Check out my Dubai, isn't he awesome? This is a Qilin subspecies, super rare. My dad moved mountains to get him. Sutra said proudly, thrilled to have this ice Qilin. He is pretty awesome, but it's a shame he has such a lame name. Ye Qianxing said, acting as though he felt bad for him. Hearing this, Bing Qilin also looked at Ye Qianxing deeply, and could vaguely see a trace of mutual admiration in his eyes. Yeah, well, it's not like calling it, dumbass, would be any better. But it fits him perfectly. Sutra was speechless, because there was nothing wrong with what Ye Qianxing said. Looking at the wise eyes of dumbass, his IQ was definitely that of a dumbass. Right now, dumbass was looking at Ye Qianxing with Era's iconic disgust expression. He wanted to ask why he had to drag me into it again. As the two of them goofed off, even Xia Xiaoyu felt better. Before they knew it, they had been walking for half an hour. Why haven't we seen a single evil spirit yet? Ye Qianxing wondered. It's normal. The demon forest is huge. They're not everywhere. They usually stick to their own territory. We'll find them if we keep looking. Sutra explained. Another half-hour passed when Ye Qianxing and the others suddenly stopped. Earth Flame Flower. Xia Xiaoyu said, sounding excited. Ye Qianxing looked where she was pointing and saw a few red flowers growing near a tree. Earth Flame Flower grows above ground, but its roots reach deep into underground magma, containing immense fire energy. 500 years ago, evil spirits weren't the only things that came to Earth. Seeds from other worlds arrived with them, growing into spiritual medicines. These medicines greatly benefited evil spirits, spirit pets, and even humans, making them highly valuable. Many mercenary groups entered the wilderness not just to hunt evil spirits but also to find these medicines. My dad found a spirit pet expert who said Huohuan needs Earth Flame Flower to reach E-level. They're usually hard to find. I can't believe we found some here. Xia Xiaoyu was thrilled. The fire spirit bird was her pet, and she'd be overjoyed if it could advance. Xia Xiaoyu was right, the fire spirit bird needed the Earth Flame Flower. What are you waiting for? Grab it, Su Tira said, already near the flowers, reaching down to pick them. Hold up. Ye Qianxing said, stopping him. Su Tira looked confused. You have to know how to pick the Earth Flame Flower, you can't just rip them out, or they're worthless. Ye Qianxing explained. The Earth Flame Flower's roots were connected to the magma deep underground, making them impossible to pull out completely. Ripping them would only tear the roots, rendering the flowers useless. The proper way was to pick only the petals. That way, new flowers would bloom in a few years. Sutra scratched his head. Really? Yeah, it's true. I almost forgot, but teacher Jiang Lin mentioned it in a lecture. Xia Xiaoyu nodded in agreement. Seeing their confirmation, Sutra finally believed it. Qianxing, how do you know so much about this stuff? I thought you slept through class, Xia Xiaoyu asked, a little confused. As the class monitor and top student, she hadn't remembered this. How could Ye Qianxing, known for slacking, know it? I have my ways. I'm just gifted. Ye Qianxing said, not at all embarrassed. After all, as Xia Xiaoyu had said, he slept in class, but he had the system on his side. With the system, there was nothing he didn't know. Chapter 25 Earth Flame Servant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just gotta pick some flowers, right? Easy peasy. Sudala leaned over again, this time reaching out for the flowers. Suddenly, a jet of flame erupted from the ground, heading straight for Sudala. Watch out! Ye Qianxing shouted, rushing forward, but Dabai, the ice unicorn, was psychically linked to Sudala and reacted even faster. With a wild cry, it stomped its hooves, and frost began spreading outward from its feet. The frost formed an ice shield just as the flame was about to hit Sudala, blocking the attack. Phew! Sudala breathed a sigh of relief. That was a close one. Guess I gotta keep my pet close by from now on, no matter what. Thanks, Dabai. Sudala thanked the ice unicorn and hurried to its side. Ye Qianxing and Xia Xiaoyu, meanwhile, frowned at the spot where the flames had burst forth. The monster covered in flames appeared near the Earth Flame Flower. Spiritual pet, Earth Flame Attendant, attribute, fire, rating, 3 stars, growth type, level, F9. Abilities, explosive shot, fire blade. Weaknesses, water/sacred fire. Advancement requirements, evolution path. It's an Earth Flame Attendant. They're number 4300 on the evil spirit record. They love munching on Earth Flame flowers, so where you find the flowers, you usually find one of these guys. Shoot, I totally spaced on that. Su almost got toasted, Xia Xiaoyu said, sounding guilty. The evil spirit record is like a bestiary of all the known evil spirits, compiled over centuries. It's got info on thousands of them, their habits, quirks, and even a power ranking. Even though the Earth Flame Attendant is only F level, it's ranked pretty high because it has serious potential. It can evolve into a heavenly flame attendant, then a demonic flame attendant, then a venerable Li Yan, and finally, a fire demon. The fire demon is its final form. In the evil spirit record, the fire demon is ranked a whopping 98th. It's a real S-class evil spirit, crazy strong. the evil spirit record is basic knowledge they drill into you at school. Xia Xiaoyu has a great memory, she never forgets stuff. She's probably just a little freaked out because this is her first time out here. It's cool, no sweat, Sutala said, waving it off. But our priority number one is taking it down, he continued. Even though Earth Flame attendants are only F level, their fire attacks come straight from underground magma, so they're way hotter than your average flame. We need to be careful, Xia Xiaoyu said, still frowning. Dabai's attributes are weak against it, and my fire sparrow has the same attributes, but the quality of its flames isn't as good. So even though we have the numbers, we can't let our guard down. Mutated frost might be more powerful than regular water, but it's got a downside. Fire that's usually weak against water is stronger against frost. Seeing Xia Xiaoyu get her game face on, Ye Qianxing smiled. He wasn't planning on letting 205 jump in yet. At his E level, he could crush this thing in seconds. He wanted Xia Xiaoyu and Sutala to get some experience, to get used to fighting evil spirits. Roar, that the Earth Flame attendant roared, blasting a flaming bullet right at them. Fire Sparrow, Flame Impact. Xia Xiaoyu called out decisively, the fire sparrow chirped, flapping its wings, sending two streams of flames to intercept the bullet. The flame bullet broke through the first stream, but the second one stopped it cold. Dabai, Frost Zone, frost began to spread across the ground again. The Earth Flame attendant looked down and saw its feet were frozen solid. Now's our chance. Baymax, Icicle, quick. As Sutala gave the command, the horn on Dabai's head glowed blue, and a sharp icicle materialized and shot toward the Earth Flame attendant. Just as it was about to hit, the Earth Flame attendant erupted in flames, melting the frost. It jumped to the side, and the icicle pierced the tree behind it, missing it by a hair, but before the Earth Flame attendant could celebrate, a ball of fire slammed into its face. Xia Xiaoyu had anticipated the dodge and ordered the fire sparrow to follow up with an attack. The flames knocked the Earth Flame attendant back, but that was all. It was covered in flames, it wasn't afraid of fire. Okay, that's enough. A cold glint appeared in Ye Qianxing's eyes. Time to step in. Xia Xiaoyu and Sutala were never going to beat this thing on their own. The Earth Flame attendant was immune to fire, so the fire sparrow was useless, and the ice Qilin was at a disadvantage, too. They could go on like this for hours and it wouldn't make a difference. 205 nodded, understanding. He blasted a ball of black flame at the Earth Flame attendant. The Earth Flame attendant didn't even try to dodge. In its mind, fire was harmless, but the second the black flames touched it, it knew it had messed up. It felt a searing pain in its soul. My nether flame is no ordinary fire, Ye Qianxing said with a smirk, nodding to 205. 205 then charged the Earth Flame attendant, swatting it on the head with one claw. The Earth Flame attendant was so stunned by the pain that it didn't even react. The hit smashed its head, and a ghostly soul floated out and was instantly swallowed by 205. The body fell to the ground, the flames fizzled out, and it revealed its true form, black as coal and pretty gross. Holy crap, Qianxing, when did 205 hit E level? Sutala asked, astonished. The last time he saw him fighting Kuewu's violent hunting bear, he was only F level. That was only a few days ago. To kill an F level Earth Flame attendant in one hit, 205 must be E level for sure. A few days ago, Ye Qianxing said casually, walking over to the Earth Flame attendant's corpse. He pulled a fiery red spherical stone out of its body. This was the evil spirit's inner elixir, the source of its energy, and proof that they had passed the test. Ye Qianxing walked over to the Earth Flame flower and plucked it gently. Each Earth Flame flower had exactly 5 petals. Thanks, Qianxing. With this, the fire sparrow can advance, Xia Xiaoyu said, excitedly. Do you have something to store the petals? Ye Qianxing asked. No, can't I just stick them in my pocket? Xia Xiaoyu asked, looking confused. Definitely not. The second the petals are separated from the flower, they start leaking energy. If you have something to seal them, you're good. But if you don't, they'll be useless in under an hour, Ye Qianxing said. Of course, the system had told him all this. Xia Xiaoyu's face fell. She had no idea, and no one had warned her. Chapter 26 Fire Spirit Bird Advances. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But Xia Xiaoyu didn't think Ye Qianxing was bluffing. What do I do? I finally found the Earth Flame Flower, and Huo was still waiting to level up, Xia Xiaoyu said, worried. Relax, it's not a huge deal. Since we can't store it, let's just use it, Ye Qianxing suggested. Use it now. But there's no spiritualist here. If we mess it up, Huo won't just fail to level up, it could be dangerous, Xia Xiaoyu pointed out. Don't worry, I've got this, Ye Qianxing said with a smile, and Xia Xiaoyu started to feel a bit better. Qianxing, are you a spiritualist? Su Tira asked, sounding surprised. Being a spiritualist was no easy feat, requiring both incredible talent and tons of study time. Ye Qianxing didn't exactly strike him as that kind of guy. Well, not really, but I know how to train spiritual pets. Ye Qianxing rubbed his nose. He'd never trained one himself, but the system gave him the method, so he just had to follow it. Weren't those fools leveling up thanks to the system anyway? After thinking for a moment, Xia Xiaoyu seemed to have made up her mind. Brother Qianxing, I trust you. Come on, when has your brother Qianxing ever let you down? Ye Qianxing grinned, patted Xia Xiaoyu on the head, then pulled out the Earth Flame Servant's fire core and held it in his hand. The next second, it cracked with a click, right in Ye Qianxing's grip. No way, Suzaku said, eyes wide. Ye Qianxing had surprised him countless times, but this was next level. That was a demon core, practically as hard as rock. Using tools, he could understand, but Ye Qianxing just crushed it with his bare hands. How strong do you have to be to smash a stone like that? It was beyond human, but the shock kept coming. Ye Qianxing continued to pulverize the core until it turned into dust. Then, Ye Qianxing sprinkled the dust on the Earth Flame Flower's petals, rubbing it in to form a tiny pill. Huo, come here, Ye Qianxing called. Huo glanced at Xia Xiaoyu, and with her nod, it flew to Ye Qianxing. Swallow this, Ye Qianxing said, offering the pill. Huo shook its head, eyes showing real disgust. Ahem, it's not pretty, but I'm working with what I've got. Don't worry, it'll still do the trick, Ye Qianxing said sheepishly. Huo stared at Ye Qianxing for what felt like forever before finally opening its beak, and Ye Qianxing tossed the pill in. As soon as Huo swallowed the pill, its flames flared up, feathers stood on end, and the temperature spiked. Ye Qianxing and the others had to back away. Suzaku even had to buy blast cold air to combat the heat. After about 10 minutes, the flames finally died down. Spirit Pet, Fire Spirit Bird, Attribute, Fire, Rating, 4-star, Growth Type, Level, E1. Ability, Flame Impact, Weakness, Water/Wings, Upgrade Condition. Huo's stats appeared. It had hit E level. Huo, you're really E level, Xia Xiaoyu exclaimed, excited. As Huo's master, she could instantly tell it had leveled up. Chijiji, the fire spirit bird flapped its wings and circled Xia Xiaoyu, clearly thrilled. It worked, Suzaku breathed, hurrying to Ye Qianxing. Qianxing, you really know your stuff, ha, awesome. Now help me figure out how Dubai can level up. Ice Qilin, a Qilin subspecies, was rare, so few experts knew much about them. Suzaku had consulted trainers all over Jiangnan City, but no one could give him a straight answer. Now, seeing Ye Qianxing's expertise, he rushed to ask, but he immediately regretted it. If even the experts were stumped, he was putting Ye Qianxing on the spot, but Ye Qianxing surprised him again. I know how to level up Dubai too. I'll help you later. First, we've got something else to do. What's that? Unlock Huo's Vermilion Bird bloodline and boost its stats. Suzaku and Xia Xiaoyu were floored. Unlock a bloodline. Boost stats. Only the best trainers could pull that off. Brother Qianxing, did you say Vermilion Bird bloodline? Like, the Vermilion Bird from ancient myths, Xia Xiaoyu asked, eyes wide. When her adoptive father gave her Huo, he mentioned a special, powerful bloodline, which explained the perfect stats, but he didn't know what kind. Now Ye Qianxing was saying it was vermilion bird blood. After seeing him help Huohuo level up, she was even more inclined to believe it. Yup, Huohuo's got the vermilion bird blood, but it's dormant. That's why it has amazing stats but less combat power. Once we unlock it, its strength will skyrocket, Ye Qianxing said confidently. Huohuo's 4-star rating and perfect stats should easily beat the Earth Flame Servant, but in the fight, it was clear that Huohuo was outmatched, simply because its blood hadn't been activated. So, Brother Qianxing, can you help her unlock it? Xia Xiaoyu asked, voice trembling. Of course, wouldn't say it if I couldn't. Ye Qianxing grinned. Actually, it's really simple, so simple no one would ever think of it. Ye Qianxing paused, leaving Xia Xiaoyu and Su Tila hanging. Come on, what is it, Qianxing? Spill the beans, Su Tila said impatiently. He hated suspense. Ha ha ha, okay, here it is, rebirth through fire. In the myths, the vermilion bird could be reborn in fire, with each rebirth making it stronger. According to the system, Huohuo's blood could only be unlocked through rebirth in fire, basically, letting Huohuo die and be reborn with a new body, the body that would finally unlock the vermilion bird bloodline. Chapter 27, Rebirth from the Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bath of Fire and Nirvana, huh? Xia Xiaoyu's face went pale when she heard those words. Is there any risk involved? Relax, Huohuo has Suzaku blood. Flames can't hurt her, so she'll be fine. Ye Qianxing reassured her. Xia Xiaoyu glanced at him, then back at Huohuo, and finally nodded. Okay, Brother Qianxing, you can help Huohuo unlock her bloodline then. No problem, but Huohuo needs E-level flames to activate her bloodline. That level 250 flame is strong enough, but it'd fry her soul. We need to find an E-level fire spirit, Ye Qianxing explained, heading over to the Earth Flame Servant's corpse. Huohuo, roast this thing with your fire. Gigi. Huohuo looked at Ye Qianxing like, seriously. You're so hungry you want to eat this gross thing, Xia Xiaoyu and Sutura gave Ye Qianxing weird looks too. Qianxing, I have cookies if you're hungry. It's not for eating. Ye Qianxing rolled his eyes at Sutura. There's a food chain among spirits. Even though the Earth Flame Servant is dead, its body still has fire energy. That'll attract other fire spirits. Having Huohuo roasted is just to spread the smell, make it more appealing. With Ye Qianxing's explanation, Huohuo blasted the Earth Flame Servant's body with a huge burst of flames, the body crackling as it burned. Pretty soon, the smell of cooked meat filled the air. It's ugly, but it smells kinda good. Makes me drool, Sutura admitted, swallowing. After hours in the spirit forest, she was getting hungry. Qianxing, can we have some later for dinner? Let's hold off on that. We need to find a place to hide and wait for a spirit to take the bait. They found a hidden spot to wait, the meaty smell drifted on the wind. After a couple of hours, Sutura was getting antsy, but Ye Qianxing's sharp ears picked up some noise. Shoo! He warned them to be quiet. Sure enough, a few minutes later, they heard a crawling sound, mixed with a hiss, then, a 7-foot-long, bright red snake slithered into view, drawn to the Earth Flame Servant's corpse, spirit pet, red snake attributes, fire/poison rating, 2-star level, E2 abilities, flame burst, constriction weaknesses, water/divine fire, its vitals are 7 inches down from the head, Awesome, an E-level spirit, that since they weren't sure what level of fire spirit the corpse would attract, Ye Qianxing was prepared to wait, even if an E-level wasn't guaranteed. Looks like their luck was holding out. Xiaoyu, tell Huohuo to go out and stir up the red snake. The red snake has poison and fire, will it hurt Huohuo? Xia Xiaoyu worried. Don't sweat it. Once the Nirvana rebirth is complete, the poison won't matter, Ye Qianxing assured her. Xiaoyu nodded and telepathically instructed Huohua to go rile up the red snake. Ji. Huohua shot a fireball at the red snake. The red snake was on high alert and reacted quickly, dodging the attack easily. It glared at Huohua, finding out she was just F level, it got pissed. How dare this weakling challenge it? Hiss. The red snake hissed, and a stream of flames erupted from its mouth, but Huohua flapped her wings and dodged. Tell Huohua to stop dodging. She has to take the flames head-on, Ye Qianxing urged. Xiaoyu nodded and told Huohua not to evade. Huohua hesitated for a moment, but agreed. The red snake, furious that its attack missed, started to swell up its throat, like it was gathering energy. As predicted, after a few seconds, another torrent of flames blasted out of the red snake's mouth. This time the flames covered a wide area, and Huohua had nowhere to run. The flames engulfed her. Huohua shrieked as fire burned her whole body. She fell to the ground, rolling around in agony. Huohua. Xiaoyu gasped, ready to rush out and save her, but Ye Qianxing stopped her. She needs to endure this pain to level up. I promise Huohua will be okay. Hearing Ye Qianxing's words, Xiaoyu reluctantly stopped. Huohua thrashed around under the flames at first, but after a few minutes, she curled up. The red snake watched. Seemed like there was a smirk on its face. After a few more minutes, Huohua stopped moving, but the flames still burned. If it wasn't for the soul connection, Xiaoyu couldn't have stood watching. Then, the red snake began slithering towards Huohua. It figured Huohua would taste better than the earth flame's servant, but just as the red snake reached Huohua, something strange happened. The flames seemed to be absorbed by Huohua's body and vanished. Then, Huohua transformed into an egg. The red snake just stared, not understanding what was going on, but its instincts told it that this was bad. It swelled up again and blasted the egg with flames. This red snake is perfect. It'd take Huohua at least an hour to hatch and be reborn. Now, with those flames, it'll happen much faster. Ye Qianxing laughed. The red snake kept blasting flames for 10 minutes, until it was too tired to spit out any more fire. But the egg didn't change at all. The red snake shook its head, confused, and gave up on Huohua, but just as it turned around, a crisp crack echoed in the silent forest. The red snake spun around to see cracks spreading across the eggshell. 1, 2, 3, it stared blankly, while Ye Qianxing and the others watched nervously. Ye Qianxing was confident, but this was his first time seeing this process. It was hard to not be nervous. Boom, star. As the cracks multiplied, the egg shattered, releasing a huge burst of fire energy. The red snake, who was standing close, was sent flying by the fiery wave. Scree. A loud cry echoed throughout the forest. Instantly, every spirit and pet within the spirit forest trembled. This was the power of the Suzaku bloodline. Only Ye Qianxing and airhead Sutra remained unaffected, because their bloodlines were no worse than the Suzaku's. Chapter 28 Evolution of Suzaku. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The firestorm raged for over 10 minutes before finally dying down. The surrounding trees were charred, and the red snake was reduced to crispy snake jerky. Ye Qianxing and the others were mostly unscathed, thanks to Debai's ice shield. As the last embers faded, a striking bird, about the size of an eagle and sporting crimson plumage, appeared before them. Spiritual pet, Suzaku/Fire Phoenix, Phoenix subspecies, attribute, Divine Fire, rating, 6.5 stars, growth potential, level, E5. Abilities, Blazing Feather Inferno, area of effect, Karmic Fire / Single target, Fire immunity, impervious to all fire damage. Weakness, Divine Water, advancement requirements, evolution path. Yes. Ye Qianxing exclaimed, slapping her leg in excitement. Huohua had successfully evolved into a Suzaku. Legend says the Suzaku is a fire phoenix subspecies, a lesser bloodline, but its unique abilities give it a reputation rivaling the phoenix. Its actual fighting prowess might even be superior. Divine Fire is leagues above regular fire. Ordinary water won't extinguish it, and its power is exponentially greater. At least within Jiangnan City, Huohuo won't find anyone who can hold a candle to her. Huohuo, Xia Xiaoyu breathed, awestruck. This Huohuo was completely transformed. Not just her appearance, but her whole vibe was elevated. Xia Xiaoyu, being so linked to Huohuo, could feel her immense power. Even though she just hit E-level, her combat strength rivaled a D-level evil spirit. So badass, Sutala murmured, impressed. This was what a Suzaku should look like. Aesthetically, it could almost go toe-to-toe with Dabai. Chirp chirp chirp. Seeing Xia Xiaoyu, Huohuo trilled happily, flying over to nuzzle her head, instantly losing all its imposing presence. Qianxing, I don't even know how to thank you, Xia Xiaoyu said, eyes shining with gratitude. Silly, we're family, no thanks needed, Ye Qianxing chuckled, ruffling Xia Xiaoyu's hair. Qianxing, I'm amazed. Evolving Huohuo into a Suzaku. Her potential is probably higher than Dabai's now, right? Sutala remarked. Yeah, a fair bit higher, at least 2.5 levels, Ye Qianxing admitted truthfully. The system rated Huohuo at 6.5 stars, compared to Dabai's 5, sensing Sutala's slight disappointment, Ye Qianxing smiled. Tila, Baymax still has room to grow. He's just a Qilin subspecies now, he could evolve into a true, full-blooded Qilin. Sutala's eyes lit up. How can we help him evolve? Do we need to, set him on fire too? If so, let's do it. Ye Qianxing's lips twitched as he looked at Dabai. Sure enough, Dabai was glaring at Sutala with a betrayed expression. What had he done to deserve this kind of honor? If we set him on fire, we'll be having unicorn steak tonight, Ye Qianxing joked, and Dabai's resentful gaze immediately shifted to him. Ahem, back to the topic. Evolving Baymax will be trickier. Qilins have dragon blood in them, so you need to inject dragon energy into him. Dragon energy? Sutala exclaimed, surprised. Before the new era, everyone thought dragons were just stories, but with the dawn of the new era, dragons became real, but dragons are super rare, even among evil spirits. Obtaining dragon energy wouldn't be easy, that was for sure. Sutala quickly composed herself. She wasn't afraid of a challenge, only impossibility. As long as Dabai had the potential to evolve, she believed she'd make it happen someday. That night, Ye Qianxing and the others built a fire and roasted the red snake and the earth flame attendant. They'd already extracted the red snake's inner core. And even though the red snake was poisonous, Huohuo's divine fire burned away all toxins. Even without seasoning, the three of them, starving after a long day, devoured the meat with gusto. Burp, evil spirit meat, fancy. My first time, and it's awesome. Ye Qianxing said contentedly, patting his stomach. Before, he barely ate ordinary meat, let alone evil spirit meat. He mostly lived on grains. Now, he felt like he was living the good life. There's nothing like providing for yourself. Qianxing, how are you so knowledgeable about spiritual pets? You even evolved a Suzaku. You're better than any breeder. Why are you broke? Sutala asked curiously. What's knowing about spiritual pets have to do with being broke? Ye Qianxing asked, puzzled. Well, you're so good, everyone would want your help. Spirit masters pay big bucks for good breeders. It's one of the most sought-after professions. Sutala explained, gazing wistfully. Even powerful spirit controllers wouldn't dare mess with a good breeder. Ye Qianxing was taken aback. He had an epiphany and smacked his forehead. Wait, why didn't I think of becoming a breeder? Sutala gave him a deadpan look. Talk about slow on the uptake. It wasn't that Ye Qianxing was dense, he just never considered it. He hadn't been involved in the spirit master scene and only vaguely knew about trainers. Tila, what's the process for becoming a breeder? Ye Qianxing asked. Tila looked at him, amused. He really didn't know, so she explained it to him. You need to get a breeder's license. After that, you can rent a store, open a spirit pet training shop, and make a name for yourself. With your skills, I bet you'd be famous in Jiangnan City in no time. Listening to Tira, Ye Qianxing got excited. daydreaming about his future. The night passed peacefully under the protection of their 3 spirit pets. Qianxing, where to next? Xiaoyu asked the next morning. Ye Qianxing yawned and pulled out the map the school provided in case they got lost or wandered into dangerous territory. Ye Qianxing pointed to a spot. Next stop, Xiefeng Mountain. Chapter 29 Snowfield Wolf Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. According to the map, Xiefeng Mountain isn't far, and since it's on the edge of the forest of demonic spirits, it shouldn't be too dangerous. Xiefeng Mountain is snow-covered year-round. Even when it's over 70 degrees outside, it's still a snowy mountain. Some people think it's because a lot of frost spirits hang out there, messing with the climate. Ye Qianxing decided their next stop was Xiefeng Mountain. He wasn't interested in figuring out why it was always cold, but because of all those frost spirits, there had to be some frost spiritual medicine. Qianxing, thanks, Sutura said, knowing what he was up to. Of the 3 of them, only Dabai had frost powers. Ye Qianxing was obviously trying to help Dabai level up. No need to be so formal. Besides, didn't I promise I'd help Dabai advance? Ye Qianxing grinned, waving it off. They moved fast. There weren't many spirits outside the forest of demonic spirits, so they didn't run into any. After an hour, they finally arrived. As soon as they entered Xiefeng Mountain territory, Ye Qianxing and the others felt the temperature plummet. The forest of demonic spirits was already colder than outside, but now it dropped several degrees more. Ye Qianxing was fine, being tough, but Xiaoyu and Sutula were shivering. Huahua sensed this and flames burst from him, creating a visible barrier of heat around them. Xiaoyu and Sutula immediately felt warmer. Huahua's awesome, Sutula said, then shot a look at Dabai. Dabai just glared back. Is that my fault? After walking for 10 minutes through the snow-covered landscape, it felt like they weren't getting anywhere. Hold on, anyone else notice something? Ye Qianxing stopped suddenly, frowning. What's wrong? Sutura asked. Why haven't we seen any spirits since we got here? Even if the demon forest doesn't have many, it's impossible to see none at all. Sutura and Xiaoyu realized he was right. The map showed there should be frost spirits in Xiefeng Mountain. Ye Qianxing scanned the area, then focused on one spot. Sutura looked too, seeing only snow. Huahua, blast some fire over there, Ye Qianxing instructed. Having evolved into Suzaku thanks to Ye Qianxing, Huahua readily obeyed, unleashing a burst of flames at the indicated spot. The snow instantly hissed and evaporated, then came a scream. A wolf, its fur ablaze, thrashed wildly, rolling in the snow trying to extinguish the flames, but Huahua's flames were divine fire, impossible to put out with regular ice and snow. After a few seconds, the wolf was dead. Awu! Awu! Wolf howls echoed from all directions as snow-white wolves emerged from the snow, howling at the sky. Crap, we're surrounded, Sutura cursed. They were surrounded without even knowing it. If Ye Qianxing hadn't been so observant, they wouldn't have noticed at all. Evil spirit, snow wolf, attribute, mutated frost, rating, 1 star, level, F1, F9. Ability, pack tactics, weakness, fire. Snow wolves, everyone be careful, Ye Qianxing warned. Snow wolves aren't that strong, just F level, but most spirit masters avoid them because running into one means facing a whole pack of F-level spirits. Snow wolves are social creatures, with no special powers other than pack fighting, but they're tough to deal with. If one gets hurt, the others go berserk and fight to the death. Ye Qianxing would rather face a D-level spirit than a pack of snow wolves. Awu! Another, louder howl signaled the wolves to charge at Ye Qianxing and the others. What do we do? Sutura asked. He wasn't the smartest guy, but he knew enough about spirits to know snow wolves were bad news. He was now relying on Ye Qianxing to lead the way. Snow wolves live in packs and follow a wolf king. We can't kill them all, so we need to take out the king first, Ye Qianxing said, thinking fast. Okay, Tira, Xiaoyu, cover me while I find the wolf king and take it out. Got it, Sutura and Xiaoyu replied. The pack was almost upon them. Sutura called out to Dabai, Dabai, Frost Xuandi, freeze these beasts. Dabai roared, stomping his hooves. The icy ground trembled, and the wolves rushing towards them froze solid. Dabai was stronger in this weather, but Dabai's level was limited, so the freeze wouldn't last long. While they were frozen, Xia Xiaoyu ordered Huohua to attack, and Ye Qianxing scanned the area, spotting a wolf twice the size of the others. Evil Spirit, Snow Wolf King, Attribute, Mutated Frost, Rating, 2 stars, Level, E5. Ability, Control Wolves, Ice and Snowstorm, Weakness, Fire. Perfect, found it, Ye Qianxing said, pleased. The Snow Wolf King had hidden among the pack, concealing itself in the snow to avoid detection, but it didn't know Ye Qianxing's system could see everything. Cover me! Ye Qianxing yelled, sending Erbewu charging towards the Snow Wolf King. Seeing a creature that looked like them but with black and white fur, the pack hesitated, unsure if it was friend or foe. Huskies have 90% wolf DNA, after all, so they do look alike. This made Ye Qianxing's job easier. With no wolves blocking him, the idiot easily reached the Wolf King and took it out with a nether flame attack. Chapter 30 Void Blue Whale. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ouch! The Wolf King howled, instantly. The underworld fire didn't just burn its body, it was searing its very soul. The surrounding wolves glared at 250, a silent accusation of betrayal in their eyes. 250, wisdom gleaming in its eyes, returned their contemptuous stares. Then, under their watchful gaze, it struck the Wolf King's head with a decisive claw. 250 was a top-tier E-class spirit pet. The Wolf King, caught completely off guard, didn't stand a chance. With a single, brutal strike, 250 crushed the Wolf King's skull, killing him instantly. His spectral soul escaped its body, only to be immediately devoured by 250. Yet another soul claimed. Awoo! After finishing the job, 250 threw its head back and howled like a true wolf, prompting the remaining wolves to prostrate themselves in apparent surrender. Among wolves, strength is law. 250 had killed their leader, and therefore, they acknowledged him as the new Wolf King. Sutala and Xia Xiaoyu were dumbstruck. They can do that, Ye Qianxing smiled knowingly. 250 carries the blood of a Hellhound, which inherently suppresses canine evil spirits and spirit pets. Witnessing the Wolf King's demise at his paws only amplified their fear of him. Alright, let's get them moving on, Ye Qianxing said. 250 howled again, and the wolves scattered in all directions. Ye Qianxing approached the Wolf King's corpse and extracted its inner elixir. Sutala, meanwhile, gathered the inner elixirs from the snow dire wolves recently slain by Dabai and Huohua. They now possessed the necessary F grade, or higher, inner elixirs required for the assessment. Next, all we need is to find a cold-repelling flower to neutralize the cold poison within the elixirs. Then Dabai can use them for his evolution. Ye Qianxing stated. A cold-repelling flower? What if we can't find one here? Sutala asked, her voice laced with worry. They should be around. These flowers thrive in snowy mountains like these. If we keep pushing forward, we'll find one, Ye Qianxing reassured her. Sutala finally relaxed, nodding in agreement. The group resumed their trek. Moments after they moved on, several figures materialized at their previous location. These kids seem pretty strong. We need to let HQ know, so they can prep, one of them said. Agreed. Makes sense. With that, the figures moved in the direction Ye Qianxing and his group had taken. After trudging through the snow for nearly an hour without any sign of a cold-repelling flower, Sutala and Xia Xiaoyu, burdened by their ordinary physiques, began to tire. There's a small lake up ahead. Let's take a breather there, Ye Qianxing suggested. They were now deep within Xifeng Mountain, where the temperature had plummeted to well below freezing. Surprisingly, the lake showed no signs of ice, intriguing Ye Qianxing. While Sutala and Xia Xiaoyu rested, Ye Qianxing began to investigate the small lake. The water was crystal clear, seemingly untouched by pollution. Suddenly, bubbles began to surface from the lake's center. Heads up. Something's going on. Ye Qianxing warned. Sutala and Xia Xiaoyu snapped to attention. In the forest of demon spirits, danger lurked at every turn. Even the slightest disturbance warranted caution. The bubbles rose faster and faster, as if some colossal creature were exhaling from the depths. Could there be a giant evil spirit lurking in this lake? Sutala wondered, recalling the sea monster she'd encountered before. Feeling both excitement and trepidation, Ye Qianxing remained silent, his brow furrowed as he watched the strange activity in the center of the lake. As time passed, ripples spread across the surface. Under everyone's mounting tension, the mysterious monster finally broke the surface and revealed its true form. What the heck? The sight of the creature left them speechless, their faces etched with disbelief. The cause of such a disturbance wasn't the monstrous sea beast they had envisioned, but a blue fish, resembling a whale, but significantly smaller, only about 2 meters long. It hardly seemed capable of creating such large fluctuations. Evil spirit, void blue whale, Qilin bloodline, attributes, water/space, rating. 3 stars, growth type, level, F6. Abilities, pocket dimension, creates a personal space that can hold all things, spray water, useless, weakness, frost, advancement qualifications, evolution path. Holy crap, it's actually a whale. Ye Qianxing blurted out, this was totally unexpected. Whales, even the smaller species, weren't usually this small. However, its ability to hold a larger space within its body than a whale suggested that despite its smaller size, it likely consumed far more than any whale could. A classic case of all eat and no grow. What kind of evil spirit is that? I don't recognize it from the evil spirit records, Xiaoyu said, puzzled. She had practically memorized the entire record. Usually, she could identify an evil spirit just by looking at it. But this little whale had her stumped. There didn't seem to be any record of it. It's a void blue whale, pretty rare, so it's not surprising that nobody's seen one and it's not in the records. Ye Qianxing explained that this void blue whale possessed both the blood of Qilin and space-related attributes, making it an anomaly. It was understandable that few, if any, had ever encountered one. How do you know about it, Qianxing? Xiaoyu asked, clearly curious. I know everything. Ye Qianxing chuckled, avoiding further explanation. Xiaoyu didn't press the matter. What I'm more interested in is whether this evil spirit is dangerous, Sutala interjected. It's just an F-level evil spirit, and it's not aggressive. So, no, it's not dangerous, Ye Qianxing replied. According to the system, this void blue whale had only 2 abilities, its internal space and the ability to spray water. The water spray, which might cause damage, was flagged by the system as useless. Clearly, this guy was a pushover, but Ye Qianxing was very interested in this void blue whale. Tira, listen up. I need you to have Dubai freeze this lake, Ye Qianxing instructed Sutala. What are you planning? Sutala asked, confused. Fishing. A mischievous grin spread across Ye Qianxing's face. Unaware of the plot against it, the void blue whale continued to frolic in the center of the lake.